What is up, watch friends? Welcome to another episode of Talking Timepieces with Tony. I'm Tony, and we have another episode of Ask the Magic Watch Ball. And today I'm wearing my Hamilton khaki navy sub. I think that's what it's called. I've had it for about almost 10 years. I don't remember. Interesting thing about this watch, though, I love Hamilton watches, but I haven't worn this in forever. I just thought I'd put it on tonight. This model came from the heritage of this watch came from the Piping Rock. It's called a Hamilton Piping Rock. Nice old vintage looking watch, back from the 20s actually. And back in the 20s, when sports like baseball teams won the World Series, nowadays they get rings. Everybody gets rings. Back then they gave out watches, and I think it was the 1924 World Series when the Yankees won. Did the Yankees win in 1924? They gave them the Hamilton Piping Rock. I could be totally wrong, but I'm going based off of my goldfish memory anyway. But that's just a little brief history on the Hamilton khaki navy sub. Anyway, let's we got some questions for the watch ball. Let's roll the intro and get into it. Right on. Let's go. Also, just another thing is I might be buying a new watch tomorrow. I am going to be heading down to my AD. The Rolex that I'm waiting for, I'm waiting for two different Rolexes. Not that I could buy both of them right now, but I'm going to go down there. I got a couple of watches I'm looking at, and we'll see. And if I do, I'll be doing a video on it, so stay tuned. And one of the brands I'm looking at is not a brand that I have really ever thought too much about. They've been on my radar for a really long time, but just never thought about it, so I'm not sure. Anyway, having a beer. I did get a question about the watch ball. What happened to the Patek Philippe that the watch ball has? It is sitting safely in a cabinet in my closet somewhere. I'll put it back on. My cats were just playing with it. So anyway, the first question I have is from Davis Prince. Watch ball question. I went ahead and purchased a green 41 OP on the gray market for 15,000 K. Do you believe the green OP will be discontinued this April like other pastel 41s were last year? What do you think, Watchball? I hope so for your sake. Spending $15,000 on an OP, on a green OP, seems a little bit high. So for your sake, I hope so. But at this point in time, I do not think so. First and foremost, I always put my 2 cents into it. And Davis Prince, man, 15K seems a bit high for the OP41, but at the same time, you know what? It shouldn't matter how much you spent as long as you love the watch and you plan on keeping it and wearing it in good health. With the whole thing, if it gets discontinued, will it crank up the value of the watch? Probably a little bit, but I don't foresee it. Even if they did discontinue it, I don't see it going up like the Tiffany Blue did, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 like it did. I just don't see that. But I don't think they're going to discontinue it. Not right now, but they may. I mean, you never know. But yeah, just wear it in good health and enjoy it, man. That's the most important thing. Shouldn't matter. And, you know, if you're happy with it and you love it, that's all that matters. Next question comes from Ned Flanders. Hi, Ned. That SWAT video was very cool. Those guys have balls of steel. Yeah, they're pretty badass, right? Please ask El Watch Ballerino. I really like vintage watches, mostly Rolex and Omega, but they often have smaller case diameters like 36 millimeter. And I have a rather large 8.2 inch wrist. You know what they say about the size of a guy's wrist? Yeah. So what's a good vintage model with at least a 38 millimeter case that wouldn't look diminutive on my big manly wrist? gonna make you or the watch ball do your homework on this one. Thanks, bro. Well, not necessarily have to do any homework because the watch ball is here to answer the question. There are plenty. Let's see, watch ball. What do you think? There are plenty of vintage watches in the 38 to 40 millimeter. You just have to search for them. There's plenty. Omega, Rolex, Zenith, Longines, you name it. Just look. It's easy. Google it. Okay, so yeah, there's plenty of them, man. It's not that difficult. If you got big wrists like that, you got big wrists, dude. Jeez, 8.2. Is that what that is? Man. All good, man. Go for a 72 Rolex Explorer 2, the Steve McQueen, the 1655. That is, I believe, a 39 millimeter. Can't go wrong if you got the cash, buy the stash. You can get a 1983 Rolex GMT Master Root Beer, reference 16753. That's another one. It's a 39 40 millimeter. You can get a 1950s Omega 2181 38 millimeter, beautiful with small second hands. That's a great looking watch if you want a dressier side. Going to be a lot less expensive too than the two Rolex I just mentioned. You got a jumbo Breitling Premier, probably from that. It's the 1960s. It's 38 millimeter. I'll throw a picture up. And then on top of that, I tried on and I almost bought an Omega Seamaster chronograph. I want to say it was from the 60s, probably 40 millimeter, and looked really good on the wrist. Almost pulled the trigger, just didn't do it. I have someone I know that's a Omega expert, like refurbishes old ones and has his own Omega shop and whatever. And I sent it to him and I just asked him about the price and whatever. And it was okay, but I wasn't sure. Anyway, next question for the watch ball. Tony, wow, you increased your cool factor times 10. Thanks for sharing. Thank you for watching. And that was about my video. I just did my last video on how do I forward the watches I have. So appreciate that. I also have a question for the watch ball. What does the watch ball think of the Seiko 41 millimeter speed timer SSC 911P1? There's a few other versions, but that one's my favorite. I'm really intrigued by that watch, and the price is not bad. P.S. You're still a rocker more than anything. Thank you. Yes, I am really just still a rocker, man. That's what it is. Watch ball. Oh, is that the Seiko that looks like the Rolex Daytona? Like the Daytona's little bitch Seiko? Dude, attitude with the fucking watch ball today. It's a nice watch. It's a good homage watch alternative if you can't or won't spend the money to get a Daytona. It has a nice aesthetic. Seikos are reliable. So yes, I think it's a nice watch. My 2 cents. Yeah, it's a cool beater watch, dude. I mean, for the price, I don't know what they are. I'm gonna say between $500 and $700 in that ballpark. Maybe not. It's Prospects. Is that what? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a Daytona, homage, look-alike, whatever you want to call it. But it's a nice watch, dude. I mean, for the price, why not? I'm not a huge Seiko fan. I've had a few of them, and I liked them when I had them. But yeah, just why not do it? All right. Yeah. Okay. Cyan oxide. Okay. This is not a watch ball question. This is a specific, really, to me. Is there any advice you wish you could give yourself in the past? Or do you have any wise words for your younger viewers out there? I think it's really cool that you found success in both creative and logical field. Thanks, man. Any advice I wish I could give myself? Yeah, there's a lot, but just stay focused. Don't date fucking supermodels, chicks that are relatively famous. Why stay single, man? Like the biggest mistakes. Probably just yeah. There's a lot, dude. I think if I could, hindsight's 2020. I don't really have any regrets in life because I really took a lot of chances. I've been homeless twice. Not a bum on the streets begging for change homeless, but You know, I've been there, man, and it's tough, but that's because I took all the chances. And if I'm going to give, you know, so if it came to my music career, I might not have, if looking back, gone to music school, although that allowed me a career, getting a degree in music theory, and allowed me to work in all different areas and different styles of music in the studio, recording studio, and on tour. I would have never been able to tour with a Broadway act had I been just a regular musician. I don't think, you know, having that theory and that knowledge just allowed me a big, you know, work history and the things I've done. However, it also took away like the fact that when I was just wanted to be a singer songwriter, and you know, three or four chord songs, you know, it was just an easier path. And I, you know, kind of wish I would have stuck at that, because I did get kind of successful at that. But every time, you know, I would get a tour going or whatever, I got called to go on tour as a guitar player to play for someone else who was a successful musician, you know? So, but then again, hindsight's 2020. If I was to give advice to the younger viewers or younger people, you know, your gut is a huge thing. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit there and say, go to college, get you know, because people that have done all that straight and narrow have completely fallen on their stomach as well, or back, or whatever you want to call it. And then people that just kind of floated around on their, you know, did whatever they did and had that, you know, creative soul, have been very successful. However, you know, I've always listened to my gut, and every time it's been right, and every time I've had the strong feeling and ignored it, I got shot. Things happened not in the right way, and every time I followed my gut, things worked out. If that makes sense. So just follow your gut, man. You know, don't follow I'm not one to follow the norm. I've done everything ass backwards in life. A lot of people work really hard, and then they want to try to live their dreams after they retire or whatever it is. I did everything first, man. I did all the really cool shit when I was young. That's why I don't give a shit about cars. I like cars, but you know, I had Corvettes, Porsches, Audis, nice houses, and everything when I was really young. Got to travel, see the majority, a lot of different countries, and got to do a lot of really cool shit when I was young. So now that I'm older, I don't really give a shit about traveling. I don't care about driving the Porsche or any of that stuff anymore, or having the mansion or any of that, because I already had all that stuff. Granted, I lost it, but you know what the thing is that I had it, and that's all that matters. It's like if I lost my Rolex and I didn't have a Rolex anymore, I'd be bummed, yeah. But at the same time, I could say, well, at least I had multiple Rolex and multiple luxury watches. You know what I mean? I've had a lot of really nice cars. So follow your gut. This is too long. I am so sorry. And on that note, everyone who watches my watch ball, you know, I don't get a whole lot of views on the watch ball. In fact, you know, even like if I get more views when I do Rolex videos, pretty much straight up, you know. But I appreciate everyone who sticks with me, and my hardcore viewers. You guys are awesome. I do appreciate it. I don't take anything for granted. And if you want to go ahead and like and subscribe if you're still watching, I appreciate it. So we'll catch you on the next one, maybe tomorrow, if I get a new watch. Peace out.